There are very many development actors in this country. People who are doing water and sanitation, food security, education programs, and there are a lot of resources that are being invested in this country. All of them aiming at causing change in the lives of these people. But when I look around, you see poverty, you see desperation, you see people moving around in circles and nothing seems to be changing.
Working in the community development world, I realize that a lot of money that comes from the donors and from outside is usually used a lot in form of handout, by giving people things and hoping that as you give them those things, that it will move them on to the next step. And what I came to realize is that usually is counterproductive. Actually, as you give the poor that money or those resources, an expectation is built. And every time they hit a snag, then they are expecting that the guy who came and gave me the funds last time will come again.
I used to think things will only happen when people help you. And especially with the Baptist setting, we've used to such a system wherein Europeans, people come with funds, they support. And so that was what has been part of me. But CCMP changed that concept, that Paul can be who he is. And it has made something very great out of me, actually. And because of CCMP, many things have changed in my life.
Chez nous ici, généralement quand on parle de développement, on entend rédiger des projets, aller chercher l'argent ailleurs. Alors que le processus PMEC met l'accent sur le fait que Dieu nous a déjà donné des ressources dans notre famille, dans notre église, dans notre communauté.
People are the best experts of their situation. They really are better than anybody else coming from out there. They know how best they can be able to solve their problem. It's just that they have not been given the opportunity to explore that. They've not been given the opportunity to look hard at what they have and what they can do. And therefore, we began creating that opportunity, and it is empowering. Powerful, powerful. Because then it begins to get the people to see that it is not that which comes from outside, but that which we have.
Oh, CCMP did a great job for me. It helped me to know how to work with my hand. Because I'm a woman, you know, my husband works, he bring money home, he feed the children, he pay the school fees. But when CCMP talk about doing something for yourself, to get something for yourself, I thought it wise. I said, but then I will go down to the ground and work with my hand and harvest the fruit.
CCMP works by triggering the church to first of all realize who she is and her role to its immediate community.
God using CCMP as a span to push you or to show you who you are, to show you what He has placed in you, to put it to work, that you will benefit and His name will be glorified.
Le PMEC s'appuie d'abord sur la parole de Dieu. Le PMEC puise ses racines-là sur la parole de Dieu, sur la Bible. Tout part au PMEC par les études bibliques, c'est la base.
There were some things that the people had, but they didn't know how to use it. And so based on the CCMP training, we instituted Bible studies and began to ask them some questions that would lead them to discovering potentials they had and they never knew they had.
When I went through the church awakening process, the Bible studies, that opened my eyes. And through the first Bible study, that the God's purpose for mankind, that first one, when I shared that with the church, that was when we started the aspect of benevolent offering. That is, benevolent is helping the needy, not only within the church, but people in the community who may be sick or they have certain needs.
We have been teaching the people how we can use our own resources. And because the human concern is now meeting the needs of those who are in need. One of our members had a serious accident. He had an accident 2 times. He's broke all of these parts. And the church was able to cater to him just because CCMP came in and have taught us how we can use our own resources. It's bringing a lot of changes into our church, but it's still bringing more changes, and transformation is taking place in our church.
ne bonkian biye ke te dandan ya ba make bitiam biye ka bane ka ba fere chogo tientile me la sambra kane te ban ke de te tilara tin le te ma bogam mama ke fere ba lan ba fere torba ban ke chogo tientile
awa te la ka la bangama le for ka leur ba fo har bonkian la ke be for ka kwambe yama lenen to chowne ko chow halbang hala lam pen lam for pen mo
I started with my church because my conviction is if I'm going to tell you to do something and I tell you this thing has potential, I should be able to point to something that will convince you that it actually has potential. So I must start from where I am so that I have a testimony to share with people when I go to them to tell them the value in this program.
A church building is very, very important. First of all, it's a confidence thing. The fact that they are worshiping in this place that is falling apart, what message is that sending to the community? But by building this permanent church, it sends a message to the community around them that we are here to stay. But also, how do they get to build the new church building? They use the resources that they have. That is a big message, because that message tells the community that even you, whatever it is that you want to do, you actually can do it because we have the resources. You have the resources to do it. So it's both speaking to them, but it's also speaking to the community around them in a very, very positive way.
Lawa temba me bam la yo no le swake de gen die ne o da ye ne ka te gen wa ka ka han lawa me bang me ma te ba ye de mama kwande si ye be mama bu agbe te swake ten ka be fu tien le te swake ha te ta te mom kwa mani le ni te yang kwa de te ba feri ka ma gen die twari la ne ka te fi ka ma ya gen die le ne.
CCMP is a process, and it's about changing people's attitudes, is about changing people's minds, changing the way the church has done things for all its life in that community.
Before, when something happened in the community, we would take it to the community leaders. But now the church stepped in, where there will be no body suing the friend, carrying the friend to court, but the community will come in with dialogue. And after the dialogue, you find two families shaking hands and hugging each other and coming with that love. So that hatred that one exists, that the church has changed it to love.
Using the church to implement development intervention, it has been a real success for us. It has been tremendous in terms of transformation. We have not only affected community, but we have even helped to transform the perception of church leaders regarding development. Before the time, it was like churches should not involve in development because you'll be diluting the scripture. We are only here to preach the gospel. But with the intervention of CCMP, we've helped them to realize that no, the message they are preaching, the message that Jesus preached was holistic. He felt, he preached, he healed.
And then the church goes out using very simple tools, then stirs up that community so that they, the church and the community, hold hands and move out to actually begin to look at issues that have always held the community down and how those issues can be addressed jointly to bring total transformation.
When I was elected councillor in 2008, there was a problem between the Western Rural Area Chairman Chairman Alansanku and I. But this problem was quickly identified by Reverend Banks. So what he did was summon us to a meeting to tell us that as community leaders we should come together because our objective is to develop our community. If each of us have a different agenda, then there will be a problem. So Reverend Banks and others, they tried, and today that has been resolved.
We are dealing with two communities, the church and the local community, that is the host community where the church lives.
I'm a local activist. I'm a Muslim, and the church has been very focal. They come to us, we go to them. He's a friend of mine.
When the Muslims have problem, they come to the church. When the church also have problem, they are working together regardless of where you belong.
The church working with the community working with the church. They cannot work in isolation. They should come together to work to achieve a common goal.
We call the community that your children are here, and our problem in the church is also the community problem, and the community problem is also the church problem. Let us join hands together for us to put up this structure. We should not wait on donors to give us the money. For us to come with the building materials from down there to up here, we also ask so the community join hands with us. Now the church and the community are working hand in hand to see that the administration of this school is being mined effectively and efficiently.
On fait les études bibliques et à partir des études bibliques maintenant, on essaie de mettre en place un développement que la communauté elle-même décide. C'est elle qui décide de ce que c'est que ses priorités. C'est elle qui décide de comment on peut résoudre ça, de quelles ressources nous avons besoin et de comment est-ce que nous pouvons accéder aux différentes ressources.
There is nothing that brings me joy like when I hear the community saying we will do it ourselves.
The bridge right before us is the only major passage into or out of the community. Two tribes have contended over the ownership of this bridge, which led to huge conflict. As a result, the church did relationship building Bible studies, and that Bible study led the church members to build relationship amongst themselves, between and amongst themselves. As a result, they thought there was a need to mend the broken relationship with community people. And because of that, the leadership of the community saw that there was a problem that was impeding development. So the two tribes were brought together to realize that land is owned by God. He gives it to people, and for people to use it for everyone today is a major passage for transporting their waters, their goods in and out of the community.
Most of these kids, they were just left out like that without going to school. So with the timely intervention of the CCMP, we sat together as elders of the church and we established the school.
We started the school, but just kindergarten. But with their coming, we decided to expand the school. Not only kindergarten as a daycare, but let's add something there. And so we started the Prep 1, Prep 2, and Prep 3 classes. And today we can boast of having Prep 6.
And I believe when this school was established, from that time to now, it has made a vast input into the lives of the community members. And some of these kids in this school, they are receiving scholarship because we noticed that some of their parents, they are financially handicapped to support their kids. But with the timely intervention of the school, we are able to extend scholarship to the less fortunate ones. About 70% of the community members, they are engaged in fishing. Some are traders. But with our own effort and with the help of God in the near future, we'll get people who will be boasting of being as bankers, some may be ambassadors, accountants, and so on and so forth.
While the other development approaches have made a change in the lives of the people, they have failed to touch the soul of the person.
We begin with the church because the church has an answer that the rest of the world does not have. And that answer is the spiritual component. Usually ignored a lot by the secular world, and yet forming a very critical part, integral part in the life of the human being. If the church can be able to go out to talk with the community, there is greater sustainability there because the church is there forever. Donors come and go, but the church is there for all the time until Jesus returns.
While we are dreaming big that this community will be a very good community and where the roads will be good, and also to make sure there is light through the community. So we are working with other churches so that this community will have most of the facilities.
Mon espoir, c'est que nous qui sommes formés, nous puissions aussi former d'autres personnes qui soient totalement indépendants de nous et qui puissent aller vers les églises locales, que chaque église locale puisse faire le PMEC. Et si chaque église locale fait le PMEC, c'est vrai que l'église reviendra dans son rôle et la communauté saura donc que l'église est placée au sein de la communauté pour être sel et lumière. Ils pourront goûter et savoir que c'est bon et la lumière aussi va briller là où c'était noir.
It is not about what we do with communities. It's about what God is doing in the communities. It's about what God can use us to do in the communities. And God can use anything. He can use anybody.
Mon espoir, en tout cas, c'est de voir toutes les églises évangéliques du Burkina Faso pratiquer le PMEC. Parce que je crois que c'est l'un des moyens efficaces de faire un travail qui a un impact qui dure dans le temps, puisque ça aide les gens à utiliser les ressources qu'ils ont. Si demain, par exemple, si moi je ne suis pas là, l'église dans laquelle je travaille va continuer à travailler avec le renforcement des capacités que je leur ai données. Donc, vraiment, mon espoir et mon rêve, c'est de voir toutes les églises évangéliques de ce pays embrasser le PMEC.
Above all, I knew that from the word go, church community mobilization was going to start bearing fruits. And from the first session that we had, and from the first Bible studies that we had, we started to hear stories of change.